Another new survey is out today by SurveyMonkey, which is a legitimate polling service that was around during the campaigns, and it finds 14% of Trump supporters now fear that the Senate health care bill will make them worse off.
Look, Alan, I mean, what we're talking about here is how people feel about issues and what's going to happen in the midterms. And I'll tell you, I mean, while the media and the Democrats are completely, they have this just fetish with Russia and talking about Russia every single night. What Trump has done is, like the last June jobs report, we were expecting 179,000. Hold on, Alan.
Wait. I asked you about the Senate GOP bill.
Alan, hold on.
Hold on.
Because I want to talk about the point that you had.
All right,
about
Christian,
the midterms.
hold on one second. This survey goes on to say those supporters are the most vulnerable part of Trump's coalition. They have lost faith in Trump's promise that he would replace Obamacare with something much better.
But here's the point. Trump, 220,000 jobs added last month. Expected 179. Jobs are up. A lot more than expected.
What kind of
you
jobs
talk
are
about
those,
the wall?
Christian?
They're mining jobs. There's 8,000 mining jobs in there. Private sector jobs, I think, were 180,000 of the 220.
What about the wall?
The wall. There's 1.6.
A transparent wall.
But 1.6 billion was allocated by the House recently to start building the wall. Healthcare, they're working on repeal. Women's entrepreneurship, they're addressing issues behind the scenes that you guys aren't covering that Americans care about. When you start talking about repealing healthcare, look, they're still in the process. It's making sausage. It's ugly. They're still working it through. Hopefully it gets done. I personally think the entire bill should be repealed, but that's another debate.
This is huge, though. Okay, let's talk about health care, because this is the biggest thing going on in the country in terms of policy, because everybody cares about it, and we'll have to wait and see about this. It doesn't look good in terms of, like I said a moment ago, though, Mitch McConnell may be forced to actually work with Democrats, which may be the best thing. Democrats have consistently said, don't repeal ACA, let's work and fix it. Republicans, you know, it's interesting. This is where you see Republican versus Republican, Christian, as you know, is that some people like Senator from West Virginia and Ohio, they you know, Medicaid is a really big deal here. Like we have an interesting, Marco Rubio has talked about this. He's on the same page with Kathy Castor, because we're not a Medicaid expansion state, and so we could be locked in a worse situation than a lot of other states. And he said that he's happy with the way this bill has been changed around to help Florida a little bit. So this is really big, and we don't know where it's ending now, but we're going to know pretty soon, in the next month or so, right?
And the governor mentioned that issue as well. I mean, what we have is the Democrats under Obama, they jammed this bill through. They just jammed it through. I mean, you have.
But it still took over a year. You're talking about jamming.
But you have hold on, let me finish my point. But they jammed it through, and now we're going piece by piece because it has been a failure, and it is difficult to address because there's so many parts to it.
I do remember
60 votes at that point.
Right.
Talk about jamming through. The Republicans are trying to pass this bill with 50. There's a big difference. That's 10 votes in the Senate.
Well, let me bring up two issues here. Number one, when they were debating and working on Obamacare, I do remember something over like 100 hearings from various committees, and there have not been any involving this.
You have the speaker, Alan, that you're not holding accountable, that says we have to pass it before we can see what's in it. I mean, that's great.
But I can't help get past the fact that you can do this without a single Democratic vote. You don't need a single vote to pass a Republican health care bill.
But that's what I'm saying is they jammed this bill through. They had a lot of stuff packed in there, and there's a lot of difficult issues that you have to address. Pre-existing injury, that's a whole debate on its own. My personal belief, repeal the entire bill, go piece by piece, debate and pass piece by piece. That's my personal belief, because it is such a big thing.
You know, Kevin, David Jolly was here a couple of weeks ago, who said that this is a golden opportunity for Democrats to come up with an alternative. And if the party was smart, they would do that. And I'm still waiting to hear where the Democrats' alternative is.
Well, I think the Democrats are willing to fix the parts of the ACA that aren't working. And it is true that there are parts of the bill that need improvement. But pre-existing conditions, very popular when polled across the country. Letting your child stay on your health insurance until they're 26, very popular. Keep the popular parts and work on those that aren't working. I think both sides can come across. That's what the people at home want.
Again, we're not going to, that is what we may come to. We're not there yet, though. This Ted Cruz amendment would actually kind of hurt folks. It would kind of take away the whole idea of pre-existing conditions, that you could always be protected by that. So, you know, they're trying to appease the far right and the moderate right, and it's a problem. And again, I don't know how it's going to, I don't think any of us know how it's going to shape out, but it could, I think this comes back to the Trump voters and the people that Christian knows and supports, that if it's, Trump, shoots somebody on Fifth Avenue, not going to hurt them in the base. But if they don't repeal the ACA, what do you think? I mean, it's going to.
I think they need to take action on that. I mean, there's always that. Oh, just let it
But
fail
what
on
do you
its
think
own.
if it-
But I
if it
think
doesn't
voters
happen?
are expecting.
Right.
I think voters are expecting action on Obamacare, and they want Obamacare repealed. And when you look at every Republican that's run for office in the Senate, they've all said, "Let's repeal Obamacare."
People don't want Obamacare repealed. They want a health care system in the United States that works.
But
Plain and simple.
Americans and businesses do not want to be
All right,
penalized.
let's take a
for it.
quick break, and when we return, we'll have final thoughts from our guests.